whatever you call it, I can't say it, like set aside or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's us, it's us.
You go us and then we contact the landowner?
Yeah, well, we just do it and charge for that. Well, we contact them first.
We allow them if they want to read
Yeah.
it, they can.
Yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will make a motion to approve the minutes of the agenda. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Scott is not here. We need Chris.
That's gonna slow down.
And I know these people well, so I'll make a motion to approve the fireworks application for Greg and Margaret Kelskett.
I'll second that.
Motion, you got it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Homework, did you find anybody?
It can be, we want Melissa.
Oh, yeah.
I think if I remember right, Worth County's other representative is actually somebody with Northwood. So Melissa could be our.
Okay.
I just didn't want to make sure that she was already on for them, and she was.
Okay, you are. That's why we tabled it to this week.
Well, yeah, you were going to ask Ken, but then I remembered at the meeting, yeah, there was somebody from Northwood there.
All right.
So I guess I'll make a motion to appoint Melissa Michaelis to the Homeward Board.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got that. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I didn't ask her, but I'm sure she'll do it. I was just getting close.
This is Chris.
Yeah, Chris, we've been waiting for you. Can you come in, please?
Don't mix her off.
We're heading out.
Morning. Morning. Will yours take long?
No.
What's up?
Well, excuse me. Brian Plath came the other day and wondered how the board would feel about if we were to raise the funds to get a second dog on our department. The reason for this is you is 7, 8, 9 years old. I don't know exactly how old she is. But at some point in time, she's going to retire. Brian would like to be a dog handler, and that's not to say that Brett wouldn't get another dog if he does retire. But the bonus to that would be that 6 month while Brett was retraining with his dog, we'd still have a dog at the department. Both dogs would work, so they weren't opposing shifts, so they were never together, because that wouldn't make sense to have two dogs on the same shift. But and you know, Brian and the department are willing to go out and raise the funds on their own stuff like that. It costs about $12,000 to do something like that.
Go for it.
Okay.
It's my opinion.
Okay.
What's the ongoing cost that we would incur, you think?
You know, you get
I think it's been about $6,000 to $1,000 a year.
okay. You got some vet bills,
Yeah.
you know, that might come up in some feed,
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
I just gotta ask.
Yep.
And the benefits are probably gonna far outweigh.
Outweigh that. Yep. So
I guess I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
I see that half of your budget was medical expenses for inmates.
Oh God, yeah. This was a horrible.
That's nothing we ever get reimbursed for either. Or?
Well, we will try, but we have never in my 40 years had anything like this before. But I'm not going to say his name because we're live. But he had seizures on a daily basis. And every time he had a seizure, it was an ambulance trip to the hospital. And one time we spent the night in the hospital. We worked very, very hard, very diligently to get him into the VA program. And we worked with the county attorney, we worked with probation office and things like that. And we finally got it all worked out, so he's in the VA hospital now. But there was a period of time where it was horrible.
Yeah, I looked at that. I hope
Yeah.
that happened in a hurry.
Well, like I said, hopefully that'll never ever happen again. It's 40 years we haven't had an issue like that, but this one was. And he was our prisoner. If he'd been a Hancock County prisoner, it still would have cost, but it wouldn't have cost us.
Yeah. Chris?
I don't have anything.
I do, get the name here. Should have it ready.
It's on lat 2, DD1.
Yeah. The owner is. Catherine Miller in section section 34 of Logan has a private crossing on that ditch that needs to be lowered. It was put in wrong. They're cleaning that right now. And I forgot to snap a picture of it. It's 2 feet higher than it should be. So
I will get
I
with,
assume you have the information for Catherine. She owns 160 acres there.
okay, I'm assuming it's in there, but,
Yeah.
District did you say?
Just DD1,
Lat 2.
and it's in Logan, and 34 of Logan.
so it is the lat 2 that Corey Juergens is doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
You know who engineered that, you know?
Rick Hopper.
Okay,
Yeah, so I'll have to get a hold of him.
okay.
Mhm.
It might behoove him to come over and,
Well, he
I
called,
could snap a picture of it and send it to him. I don't know why I didn't do that.
he called me last Friday, and I texted him your number, hopefully you got it, but he was gonna call you.
Rick?
Yeah,
Oh, he hasn't yet.
where I was at, and hopefully he was getting through.
That's the only thing I got, but that definitely has to be lowered. And I've been told, I don't know her, I know her dad, he's gone now.
Okay. All right, well, I will get a hold of Rick and tell him, and then he can,
Okay, all right.
I asked Rick if it was the right size pipe, he said, yeah, it's the right size pipe.
Well, see, Ron Penning doesn't think it is, but all the others are 8 foot,
Okay.
and this is a 6 foot. But I personally think, my limited knowledge of drainage, but that it would be fine.
It all depends if you want the, 50 year flood,
Right,
100 year
yeah.
flood, or 200 year flood.
Okay, all right, thank you.
yep, I'll get on it.
Anybody else?
Anything I think of?
That's it then.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Chris. All right. Monthly claims. I didn't see anything.
How much are the flat books?
30.
They're 30 apiece.
If the first doesn't show up, we're gonna make it.
Oh, he's on his way. If we took out.
I will.
Usually he's here at 9 if he's
Yeah.
from vacation, so it's weird. Need 3 signatures there.
We haven't made a motion.
No.
I'll make a motion to approve the semi-monthly county claims.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
619. This is the engagement letter for the auditors that are here.
Where's the letter?
The one you just signed.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to see it again? Do you guys want to see it?
Sure.
He's out the scope of work.
I probably should have been out again, shouldn't I?
We do every 3 years.
Yeah, just did it last year, didn't we?
Yeah, it hasn't been that long ago.
Under a report, can I get an update of how the mental health is in that?
I blew my cord.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Nothing was really resolved. We were looking at some,
Oh, I better clarify, which mental health meeting was this?
this is the one about the new region.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it really doesn't look good for that in a sense. I mean, we're even if we get Cerro Gordo, if we can't get a couple other counties to go, in order to meet the 100,000, we gotta have $4. And then we received communication from the region just to the south of us that they don't want any new counties, so that isn't gonna be an option. Because they think they're already big enough, because they have plenty of counties.
Goes to show that we're way too big.
I think where we stand is Bruce. Hey, were you coming today, or? You're in town, okay, we'll wait, yep. You're in, okay, were you coming, or you wanna put it off till next week? Yeah, we got it on here to, the action, to stay with, or, we can, you don't even have to come. Hold on, I'll put you on speaker, hold on. Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Supervisor.
Good morning.
What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do?
I think I'd like to have you make a decision, I think you've already made it. And just tell me if you want to continue on with the 2080 agreement that you have, and more than likely it'll be, I think, a reduced exact document that you have. They should reduce that, but if they don't. But I think it should be renewed, but I think you want to continue on with what you're doing. I don't know what the other option will be.
Yeah, I think that's the key. There is really no other option.
Yeah. If you folded on it and got out, and enough counties did that, Mud is going to end up taking over and still continue on, but there might I don't know.
Well, with the people I know that are involved with this in Lake Mills, it would be a nightmare for them if we changed it. Yeah, so.
Maybe everybody needs that you continue on with 2080 agreement and meet with Paul and the other county support, and what they do, and I think they'll just take one angle.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
So, my report back to my board will be that you want to entertain, staying with as much as the agreement, is that correct?
Yes, that'd be, well, yeah.
You okay with that?
Yep. Okay, thanks, Bruce.
Thank you very much for calling.
Yep, you bet.
So we really don't have to.
Well, to renew the 2080, I think is what it would be. Or do we do,
I
when it
don't know.
comes here,
I don't know if it automatically does that or not. I mean,
just wait
They
till the
do.
document gets here to sign, then we approve it? Carl?
Yeah, we don't, it's not like we have a 2080 in front of us that we can,
Right, so it's just
I'll
our
just-
direction to him to start the process.
Okay, back to mental health. Mike got a little blunt about everyone was missing the point as far as what the elephant in the room was, and then somebody made him say it. And, our disappointment with the performance of our CEO. Something like that. And then they gave a piece of paper, I probably got it in my bag, that showed how much it was costing for mental health, our per capita levy in '96, and then compared to now, and how much it was just way higher. It made it look really bad. It's just like, why would we even think about going back to taking care of what they forgot? You know, and that's one of Bob's things, is he didn't give all of it. That was before Medicaid paid anything. If you would add what Medicaid pays for now, the levy would look awful. And then if you added all the money that he's using in the fund balances on top of that, that levy would have been probably twice as high as it was back in the 90s, or at least higher. So, I mean, he just proved another point right there. He put a piece of paper out in front of us to try to make it look bad without giving all the information. I mean, he just let it sit there, and Ken Abrams just called him out on that. I was sitting there.
you got to ruffle it a little bit.
Ken's feathers were ruffled because he knew what he was misrepresenting. And I was looking at it too, and I'm like, this isn't right. This isn't right. This is before Medicaid. And about the time I was thinking about saying something, and Ken took over nicely.
So coming out of that meeting, the feeling that there's nothing we can do anymore?
It all depends on what Cerro Gordo does. If we get Cerro Gordo and the other counties that are probably going to go, we'll end up being like 96 or 97,000 population.
I think the bar was set to look into Bob hard. I purposely said this. I said, I think the supervisors should get together alone. And I got an email from the state. I forget the name now. But in essence, it was saying that you can't have a meeting alone. And I wanted to get to that because they've been kicking you guys out on executive meetings.
Well, no, they didn't kick him out. They just made him feel really unwelcome.
No, but you guys, you can be at executive meetings. You don't have a vote, but you can be at
Or
executive.
say.
Yeah, I say. And that's where I was getting at because he's been holding illegal meetings.
Totally one-sided.
Well, nobody's ever wanted to go to one until lately, and then
Right.
when Chris went to one, they made him feel really, really, and then confiscated his notes afterwards.
Yeah. And that is highly illegal.
Well, they've got one tomorrow. Could I borrow your tape recorder?
Yeah, it'd probably be better to use that than they know that you're taping it.
Well, there's I want to hear the information that comes from that call without it going filtered through the
Right.
executive committee.
Yeah.
Because I think that thing was more than being about Bob. From the questions they asked, it was more about Sandy.
Mm-hmm. And that's what ruffled my feathers.
Well, it's been rough on our feathers for a while.
I know you did that.
And
Then he's trying to talk Ron, he's talking Ron Swears, he's trying to talk him into not leaving the region for at least another year. What's his incentive in that? He's a HR guy that's supposed to be doing a review of the CEO or whatever, and he is taking his time to talk Ron into not leaving for
Trying to sway people in his investigation.
Well, you see, but if you don't leave for another year, you know what happens in that year?
They sweep our bums.
Yeah, the fund balance is all gone, and they've snarked it, and
It's very difficult to do.
I got another call from that Lori, but I haven't called her back yet,
want your money.
I would guess.
Who's the gal from Mercy?
Judy Harms, I think it is.
I didn't pay attention to her. She called me and thanked me for saying what I said. God, I can't remember. I don't pay attention to the Bishop.
I think it's Judy. And when you look on that sheet, in one of the counties that is paying as much now for their levy as they were back in '96, is Cerro Gordo. They're, and maybe it's because they have a lot of employees there, but they were even worse off than Blackhawk.
Yeah. Well, my input to you as our representative would be to get, I don't know how the process works, but if we can get an independent investigator to look at Bob's dealings, that's, I don't think we have,
Well,
we need to do that, I think.
we didn't replace our CFO, and they were trying to do it in-house so everything could be, I think Bob was controlling it, and that person that was doing that quit. Nobody knows why, for sure, because she got a better job. So it makes you wonder, when you're already having thoughts about what's going on, you wonder, why now, why this? So is that car?
No.
He's a trainer.
From everything that I've heard from you, from Ron, from Ken, this stinks big time to the guy that's controlling it.
You could almost think that when they set the parameters for creating a new region, that Bob was there helping them do it. Because they made the new law where you had to have continuous borders, and then you had to have 100,000 in a city of over 24,000. And for us to do that, unless we got Humboldt or Wright to go, was almost impossible.
Who made that rule?
What's that?
Who made that rule?
Well, it's the legislature.
That bill that allowed them
Well,
to be able to do this.
what it was before is they've always had the continuous border thing, but what they changed is that, like, if we left, then Emmett County, means they had a previous relationship, could stay with CSS if they wanted, but now they can't. So if we leave, they either gotta go with us or go to a different region to the west, where they've already been to the west. And that's not fair either. Those people shouldn't be held prisoner by a decision that we're gonna make. It's,
Purpose being by the continuous borders?
Well, it doesn't make sense in this day and age, in my opinion,
no,
But the purpose,
with transportation,
the
because
purpose of continuous, it serves no.
I would assume the purpose would be for people that we serve.
Yeah, so
It'd be less travel for them.
Geographic
And,
service.
I assume that's the reason. I don't know.
You wouldn't want somebody in the northwest corner parking with somebody in the southeast corner.
But yet Cassuth, if you live in northwestern Sioux, and you gotta go to Waterloo, that's still a huge distance. So,
Or he's Emmett.
yeah.
so let me get this straight. He can send people to a county 2 counties away, but you can't send mental health patients 2 counties away
Without touching.
without touching. But he can do that.
And that's the whole thing about this whole rule, that they've made. We don't need, all we gotta do is have people in place, with Sandy's got 4 to 8 years' experience, people in place to find the services, and we will hire the exact same providers to take care of our people as the CSS region does. The only thing the CSS,
Probably cheaper.
the only thing the CSS region does is in what they say, is it keeps, like if you have a spike in mental health issues in Winnebago County, well, then everybody kind of absorbs it, so not one county has to jack their levy way up one year because they have a spike in mental health. It's kind of it's kind of like an insurance company in a sense, you know.
So what you're saying then is Winnebago County is powerless to take care of its own patients. In other words, you don't have a choice as to where you can send your patients for the best possible care. You have to stay within contiguous borders and hope that that care is there. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and we're spending more than we ever have. We're cutting services as fast as we can. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's working.
It's cutting services.
Well, CSS is cutting
Okay, I just want to
services.
get that out here. We aren't, but
Yeah, no,
CSS.
yeah.
So
Because
Winnebago
they're
has
having troubles.
Winnebago has no voice as to what services are cut and what are.
And we have.
Well, we do,
But it's.
Bill's got a voice, but he's 1 out of 22.
We can all.
So we're screwed.
Okay, let me rephrase that. In other words, he has 1/20th of a voice as to where his patients in Winnebago County go, whereas Mr. Peterson over here has a complete voice as to where his prisoners can go for the best possible incarceration, best possible care, best possible everything else.
That's right. Bill?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, and then the other thing is we don't have a say in who we partner with.
That's key.
You know, that's what really grumps me. I mean, why do we have to be forced to partner with people we don't want to?
So Cassuth County could just vote down a patient and say, no, he doesn't go there.
I don't know.
No, they would try, well, I'm sorry.
As far as care is concerned, gentlemen.
No, they would try to get them down there, but it's like Bill has told us before, we try to get people down in there to Waterloo, they won't take them,
Well, they're full
they're full.
with people from down there, as it should be.
Yeah.
But,
So we're screwed.
So you
Problem
can't,
is it's completely taken away any home rule
Yes.
that we
no,
have.
the whole thing is about.
He's mandating all this, but they're not paying anything.
Everybody wants someone else to pay for their stuff.
Yep.
That's what's wrong with the whole system. And it's been.
Oh, this thing stinks.
well, I see an irony here, and from a journalistic perspective, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, this whole setup. The hope is to create more jobs, is what it looks like to me, as opposed to,
Well, and that's what I said. This is, we've created this wonderful infrastructure, and we can't afford to provide services.
But it's not a real good infrastructure.
Well, no, in their eyes it is, and in my eyes, and in the people's eyes that have been in mental health industry for years, we're spending all this money on these great iStart team, and then the actual people served by it is relatively few, and we don't have money to take care of the things that the people need to stabilize them in their lives, you know, whether it's paying their rent or you know, helping them find services.
I applaud Bill. I mean, he has stepped up and said what needs to be said in these meetings, and that is not easy. That is not easy at all.
well, I understand.
And that goes with all these boards we sit on, all the CEOs of these boards, they basically run it, and I don't want to get too hard on us as supervisors, but most of them just stamp their approval to it. And so the guys are running it, and it's carte blanche to whatever they want. And that's what's happened with this Bob Lincoln, you know, and he's gone crazy.
So you have a person who's downstairs right now, and the county is paying money to her to take care of mental health patients in Winnebago County.
No. Yes and no. We pay our levy to the region, and then the region pays Sandy.
They reimburse us. We actually write the check for
Technically,
it, but they
Sandy is an employee of CSS.
the counties get reimbursed for the employees that they have in their counties.
Is it a 100% reimbursement?
Yes.
So that's where we challenge. If we just pull out of that, what are we losing? Is it because we can't do Medicaid reimbursements anymore? If we pull out and just do our own thing?
Well, if a patient qualifies for Medicaid, they qualify for Medicaid. It don't matter that whatever provider we'll be taking people to Saragordo County, because that's where the services are. And then we would be paying directly without going through CSS. Or Medicaid, the provider is the one that, what CSS is, that they pay for above and beyond what Medicaid pays for, something like that.
So I guess the next logical question is, can this county afford, do we know how much it is for all these patients in Winnebago County? Do we know what the cost is? And can the county absorb it?
But together, we're 3 counties.
I agree, but I'm just saying.
We could find that. Sandy would have that figure within.
Well, no, the figure is relatively hard to get. And it's filtered through, we've gotten it a couple different times, but it's very, the numbers, well, for one thing, you don't know whether you trust the numbers.
Well, everything goes through Butler County, so we don't have it.
Oh, yeah.
That was the information that they did not want us to see that really started this whole thing cascading into what it has.
Did you end up seeing that?
We saw a couple different versions of it, yes. But,
See, that is why we gotta get them on it.
and,
We got the patient numbers, I found that out, but they wouldn't give me Worth County, which is,
Worth County was one of the most misrepresented counties. And Pinkasoo, gee whiz, they put like 800,000 a year into this thing, and they figured out they're only getting $230,000 worth of services back.
so we don't know how much Winnebago County is actually.
Well, you see, some of the money that we get back are for people that aren't from Winnebago County being taken care of in Winnebago County. Because like, the people that live in there's a house down here in Forest City, what do you call it? The one in,
Group homes?
yeah, the one that just closed here in Hancock. I can't say it.
Duncan?
Duncan Heights. They closed the facility and now they're all, Duncan Heights still, but they're all in houses.
Yeah.
Which costs us 3 times as much. And, but we get reimbursed somewhat for the people that are in the house here in Forest City, but they may not necessarily be from Winnebago County.
No.
So you don't know it's hard to get the number, of what actually the people from Winnebago County, the information has got to be there somewhere, but I haven't seen anything that really explains it to me.
So Bill, not to put you on the spot, but you say that it costs us 3 times as much, but we don't know what the figure is.
Oh, we know what the cost is. It costs everybody 3 times as much, not just Winnebago County. Because when you used to have, like, overnight at Duncan Heights, when you got 30, 40 people in there, whatever they had, you can have a few people watching the place overnight. Well, now you've got to have somebody in that house with these people 24 hours a day. It takes 3 people in each house, and you've only got 4 to 5 patients, but residents in each house.
Dolphins.
And
Oh, just say it, inmates.
Dolphins not an inmate, but close to it. He's the guy I used to I still take care of him. Yeah.
But that's not something CSS, that comes from the state and the federal as far as, but what it's done is it's created a whole bunch more.
Interjecting. It's the legislators thinking they want to get these people integrated into the community. But I can speak freely because I have power of attorney over Dalton. He would be happy in a 100 person facility.
Yeah.
these group homes make no sense. I mean, I take care of Otis too. It makes no sense.
Didn't all this start from a Supreme Court ruling though?
Did it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think there was a Supreme Court ruling and it came down on, you can't have group homes. You have to allow them to.
Here are institutions.
They wanna give them as normal a
Because
life
they got
as
group
possible.
homes now.
They wanna give them as normal a life as possible, no matter how it costs them, how much it costs everybody
Yeah, I
else.
think, yeah.
And
And it makes no difference to a guy like Dalton. He could care less.
And this fund balance thing, I think somebody somewhere saw a whole big pile of money there, and they says, we're gonna change the legislation where they can only have a 20, and this is a money grab as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
Yes. Well, and I think it's back channels, the counties wanted to pay for more, so the state could possibly look good. And,
Do we know the success rates of doing it this way versus the county independently going after its own care for its patients?
Oh, think back when we had the county homes. What a perfect situation. My dad dragged me there every other Sunday to do a program for them. Those people were so happy in that situation. They were. Remember that, Dave?
Yeah, as a sheriff's department, we go out there for, different dinners, Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
They were tickled pink to live there.
Yeah, they were.
I remember being a scout. And
They
going
had
through that
almost,
sort of
it's almost
stuff.
like they had a family in a
Yeah,
sense. I guess they do now, they got 4 or 5 people in each house, but, then, like you say, they had their gardens and all this stuff to do.
Well, they're like any young child, they love to show off their accomplishments.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they do.
Looks like a little utopia out there.
And I think that,
But the county liberals didn't like it.
well, this creates more jobs, in a sense, more government jobs. I mean, it's, I would really like to see some information that proves that the people were better off now than they were then. I don't think it exists.
No way. No way.
There's 10 paperwork.
Yeah, just leave us our money, we'll take care of ourselves,
Yeah.
including Medicaid in a sense.
I got fond memories of that. I hated it when my dad dragged me there, but we put the program, we'd sing for him, and I'll never forget this lady. She just would sit there and shake her head like this, with a smile on her face.
Yeah.
I remember scouts, it used to be,
Yeah.
some of those guys used to do it as Eagle projects.
Yeah,
We'd go in there and help out with the gardens, we'd go out and help out with reconstruction.
Now,
And we had more funding we knew what to do with.
and now for you guys to go put on a program for all those people, you'd have to you'd spend all your time traveling from house to house to house. You'd be able to get them all in one shot there. So therefore, that stuff happened much more often because of that, because it was just,
So now we're isolating.
and they
We're
were.
isolating more than before.
Well, yeah, no, it really are. And they were.
Creating
And they loved
isolation.
it, because you can get somebody to go out there and they can, the old saying is, you can kill a lot of birds with one stone, and now all of a sudden you got a,
So with regards to this so-called budget, and I say that, I use the term loosely considering how finances were handled and such. This so-called budget, is it part of public record within the state treasury? Do they report to the state treasury?
They have to.
So they report to the state treasury and no one's able to figure out what the funds are or what the fund balance is or where this money went to.
It's amazing how bureaucracies can hide things.
it's,
As a matter of public record.
But they,
and I wish I was better at that stuff, but I mean, there's things on that, you looking at the budget, and the things that are all of a sudden are 2,000% over budget, so did that really have that big of expense there? Or did they move something from one spot to another spot? Is he shuffling stuff around, or?
it's very arcane. I mean, it is.
It's hard to read them.
Oh, man. And that's why
So can the counties that are here that are currently dissatisfied with the circumstances call upon the governor to use her executive powers to call for an independent audit?
I would love it.
Or should we be talking to Mary Moisman? state auditor. Can she do an audit?
I talked to Kelsey, and she's gonna look into what it takes for us to get an audit of this, so we can just put it there. Maybe it'll just prove him out to be lily white.
Maybe.
And then we'll all get all that stuff out of our heads.
Yeah, exactly.
But the reasonable doubt has been created.
Yeah.
And the suspicions have been created because of all the smoke and mirrors that we've gotten on all kinds of different stuff.
And if we're proven wrong, let's go forward.
Hey, yeah, then I'll apologize when
I
we're
will
wrong.
do, I will do.
Well, then you can question the viability of certain expenses.
Yeah,
At that point, once you have that independent audit that comes through, then you can begin to question the various expenses that come through and ask, why are we putting this much money forward as opposed to its success rate? I mean, if you look at it from that perspective, if you call for the independent audit, then it stands to reason that you'd be able to see what the expenses are and then say, okay, is this working, is this working, is this working compared to what it would be if we put it over here?
well, there's a lot of things that didn't work, and that's one, like the iStar team. When he put that before the board to approve the iStar team that costs us, I can't remember, it's over $1 million a year, I think. And when he put that before us, he told us it was going to be reimbursed by Medicaid, and so far it has never been reimbursed by Medicaid. So there's 1.2 or I can't remember what it costs, but there's a lot of money right there. The lifelong links, from what I can see, didn't do anybody good. There's hundreds of thousands there. We are providing care levels. There are people that are coming from other regions to our region because there's more money available. We've got the highest levy in the state, from what I understand, if I understood it right. I mean, other counties, their levies are, some of them are over $10 per capita lower than ours, other regions. And we're broke on top of it. We've got the highest, and we're going backwards. I don't know, it depends on who you want.
Besides our levies, starting to clean out our balance.
So an outside region can send people into our region.
Well, I don't know
At
if
our
the region's
expense.
actually doing it, but the people have figured out that they come up here and, it'd be kind of like the Mexican government. They give their people all kinds of information to come up here to figure out how to milk the system.
Or no different than the people from Chicago coming here for housing assistance.
Yeah, because it's a lot better here. And now all of a sudden we have all kinds of interesting things happening around here because those people are here.
Well, thank you for answering my question.
Sorry to grill you like that.
No, okay.
I find it intriguing.
Another question I didn't get answered. Is there another meeting planned?
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna get what is the guys that were there?
Yes, it's, in fact, it's, I can tell you what it is. It's July,
Yeah, I got it in mind too, I guess.
July 2nd.
Consultant, we gotta pick a
Yeah.
consultant.
Yeah, July 2nd, 2 o'clock, Sarah Border. You should go down there, too.
I am. That's why I'm writing it down.
And I will say this again, I applaud Bill. I mean, he's been in a position that it isn't fun to be in.
I tell you what, it was a hell of a lot easier when I first started. We all just voted, yep, let's go together. That was a lot, everybody got along. Now all I get is the eagerly looks, and I got called stubborn at the meeting by our chairman.
Yeah.
Which he's right, I'm not gonna, it's not like, when I think that something isn't right, and I think I'm in the right, I am stubborn, to the point where it can even negatively affect me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what's right is right, whether you like it or not.
You guys on YouTube, he's ready now. You guys in the white coats, just come on in.
Well, there's many times that I thought I've been on the wrong side of that meeting. Yeah.
So these people that are coming in from outside, those districts can't control those individuals.
Well, they just move.
I mean, they're physically moving to a new address within our district, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, within our region. Yes.
Okay.
And, because it's better for them. Not anymore, I mean, he's slashing everything now. It costs us more than ever, and we're slashing services faster than ever. But, even with the fund balance, we're in arrears on our budget, depending on who you want to believe, as much as $5 million.
My opinion, and I gotta say my opinion, so it's not, he's a weasel. He's unreal. And I have only, maybe 3 times been with him in a meeting?
Oh, he's
It's unreal.
well, the survey that we did, it asked, what do you think Bob's strengths are? And my answer to that question was his ability to spin a situation to make him look absolutely blameless or innocent, therefore blameless for nothing that has gone on with our budget. I mean, he can make it, I mean, it's the outlying disruptors, it's Sandy, Bob and Karen were also approving the funding requests or whatever, but Sandy approved all the bad ones, and those guys were approved. And Sandy denied some, and then because they had the right connections for Bob or whatever, Sandy thought that the one person's rent was way more than we needed to be paying for. So she denied it, and Bob come and stepped in and okayed it because the person was connected over in, I believe it was Cerro Gordo County. And
You say we're doing these programs, and they're costing us millions of dollars. Is the essence of what this group is supposed to do is to treat the people, help to treat them, help to take care of them, et cetera, et cetera? That is to say, we're going after doctor bills, psychiatric bills, psychology bills, mental health bills, things of this nature, as well as the standard things like rent and things like that. How are those programs then going to be beneficial if they're outside the realm, or at least it appears to be from what I've heard? How are they supposed to be beneficial if we're spending that much money on them? I mean, if they're not paying a bill, how's it beneficial to us?
I didn't understand that.
Okay, let's say you have a bill,
Yeah.
any kind of a bill, rent, food,
Yeah.
medical, mental, whatever. Those are the bills that this district is supposed to be paying, or is it supposed to create programs that create the bills?
No, Bob is supposed to, well,
In other words, like this mental health hotline, is that actually paying a bill? Or is that supposed to?
that's just a service to the providers, right?
the mental health hotline, like the Lifelong Links, you mean?
Right.
Lifelong Links is in, and now the state has got a statewide number to get help. You call this number and then it gets you through the right channel. That's all Lifelong Links was, directing you to where you could get your services. Which
Take them through that one call, and where they end up.
Sandy,
Yeah.
they called Sandy. Sandy gave them Lifelong Links. That person explained their situation 3 more times to different people at Lifelong Links, and they gave her back to Sandy. Seems like we could have skipped them 3 in the middle, right?
We're only getting, what, 20 or 80% of our money back again? Okay. So my point is that you're creating programs.
Programs that provide, you know, the intentions were good. I'm guessing the intentions were good because Bob wanted to have one number you could call and you go to one spot and then they'll figure out where to send you for services. But we were already doing that without supporting $375,000 a year is what it was supposed to cost at one time. I've heard that it never did cost that much, but $375,000 is what it was going to cost the region. And we were already providing that service for free. But there just wasn't one number. You knew to go to the county. You know, you would call your county office, or with us at our 3 county office, and then you get to talk to somebody you might even know. But it's what I can see. Lifelong Links did nothing, and even some of the rest of the guys that have been on Bob's page, all decided that that wasn't worth it, so. That Lifelong Links, we're still affiliated with Lifelong Links, we're just not paying them any money anymore.
Okay. Are we still creating programs similar to that?
Well, the iStar team, there's a bunch of people that think that that really is, he provides good information that makes it sound really rosy, but you talk to the people that are actually in the field and they can't figure out what it really is.
Didn't create jobs.
Yes.
What type of jobs did it create
Some relatively well-paying,
up here? Older people? Or,
yeah, no, those people are getting paid pretty good.
but I mean, they're over some of the people that are actually doing it.
Oh, no, I don't know about that. I don't think they're actually, they're like a team that goes in and,
If you were doing this privately and you were overseeing it, the red flag would be up huge as to where are the kickbacks coming to. If I was running it, and it was my business, and my subordinate was doing this, I'd be looking into it huge.
You mean like the Perkins American flag that's sitting out there now? So you think that isn't flying right now?
And I'm not casting aspersions, but it makes you wonder, it really does.
I've had that thought myself. I'm like, why? Especially with the Lifelong Links. I'm like, who's got something to gain from this? Why are we doing it? Because it didn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
And so therefore, I wonder what comes around.
I guess
I hope nothing.
I do too, but
I guess the question that I have, and probably would be on the minds of pretty much every listener, is if you're creating programs and spending money into those programs, but then you're going bankrupt and you don't have enough money to pay the bills that are due, how is your region beneficial to those in mental health? I mean, if you're creating lifelong links programs that you can get for free, if you're creating these first-person programs that you're talking about, how is that beneficial to paying the bill of a patient who actually needs to sit down and talk to a mental health professional?
That's Sandy that was. It takes money away from people that now they can't provide services to people because we spent money on the infrastructure. It takes money away from the user or the.
So what's the purpose of creating this infrastructure then?
that's a very good question, and I can answer that personally. Dalton takes about $1,000 a month. Okay. Fortunately for CSS, his dad was killed when he was 2 months. So he gets a Social Security check for $1,100 and something. And so the Social Security pays for Dalton's care, okay? But I would assume that's real close to probably about everybody's care. I'm gonna guess, just from the group home in Lake Mills that I know of. And so you can take that 375,000, that would have taken care of what? It's divided by 12,000. 30, yeah. That would have taken care of 30 people per year. Okay.
And 375,000 is about what we put into the region a year just with our levy. And it just seems like to me that I don't even necessarily want to save money. It'd be nice to save money, but I think we can provide better care for our own people and do it more economically. They have that Country View, I think it is, down in Blackhawk County, which is owned by Blackhawk County.
And they're trying to sell it.
Now they're trying to sell it because its business model does not work. It has 3 different unions in it. And you know, I'm all for people sticking up for each other, but I think we can find a place we can do it cheaper.
Dunkin' Heights?
Dunkin' Heights. You know, or put some money in one of the things around here.
That's my
You know,
thought, I can't wait.
And I'm not saying Buffalo Center, I'm just saying in any one of our
Fine.
counties, Garner, wherever, you know, the four cities, Lake Mills,
It's the most cost effective and conservative, greatest number of people around.
you know, centralize it on our own counties, and I think between ourselves, we can take better care of our people and probably save money doing it.
I do too.
You know, I mean, that sheet that Bob put out to make it look really bad is just another reason that just throws up another flag for me, because he didn't explain it all, so now I have even more doubt than I had before, because he floated it out there again.
I'm done.
Have you ever talked to,
I hope your listeners' ears will be blistering today, or tomorrow.
There's something that happened over the weekend that I was not really happy with. I'm not gonna get into details, but, suffice it to say that there were some things that transpired that I just kinda went, really? And,
Internally, you mean?
no, this happened, I have someone that I know that is kind of going through this kind of a measure in another county. But still they're members of this monopoly. And, so as a result, some things just weren't making sense, because they were putting the bills down on the table and showing me what was going on. Now Medicaid wasn't paying this, or they were paying that, and then some other bills were not getting taken care of in appropriate fashion, and you just kind of sat there and thought to yourself, wait a minute, if this so-called monopoly has this so-called amount of money, but they can't pay for patient care, or they're going bankrupt by doing patient care, then there seems to be a problem if you're misdirecting money to programs that...
it's costing more than ever, and we're cutting services.
Yeah, that's kind of getting what I'm at. And yeah, their ears are going to be burning. Don't put me here. Let's put it that way.
The sad thing is, we've sat by, and my mom said this back, she's been gone, did they, 15 years? Yeah, at least 15. The one thing she said that she regretted in life was not being involved in school and in politics. We've just shut our eyes and let the bureaucrats do it to us. You know, we really have.
We're allowed to spin it so that we don't feel involved, or don't want to feel involved.
Yeah.
It's just like everything else. They try to make it all so damn difficult that you'll just give up and not pay attention.
Yep, exactly.
It's all about it. Everything, the complication of all of our things in politics is to make it where it's hard for us to pay attention. While we're in the open forum area, I had that economic development meeting with WCTA and this is the company that was there representing themselves. They're seem to be very. They have a lot of outreach as far as and they've done some good things. Of course, they're going to make everything sound pretty good, but they seem to be pretty down to earth guys to me. But they're.
Did they have a result?
For other communities?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. They got a bunch of. They got some pretty good information in there. And they've and what they do is they come in and you know they'll put and they got their rates in there too. They'll put somebody in your in your office. You can have 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, whatever you want to pay for. The more days a week, the less per hour it is. And it's possible that Melissa could stay in in her position, and then they would come in and, you know, help direct things. Or, you know, as far as if we were to, she may even become an employee of their, I mean, and then they would just be,
We just contracted.
we'd contract them or whatever. But rather than hiring,
And this was brought forward by WCTA and Heartland Power that they want to get involved in economic development in our area, and they want to see what we thought of partnering with them on something like this, which is what we were trying to do before, trying to partner with them on this.
yeah. Yeah, no, they made a good presentation. They're
Minnesota.
they're diversified, and, you know, and they answered the questions about, you know, like, they're representing a lot of different areas. So if they've got a company that's gonna locate, you know, how are they, you know, I know if you come over here, you know, but they say that works both ways as far as, you know, it says, well, you know, your best fit wouldn't be here, your better fit might be here, you know, because this is what this community has to offer.
I kind of thought we might benefit by knowing what other communities that they're representing are on.
Well, they're diversified. I mean, they've got a lot of experience in a lot of different areas, and
They have specialists in different fields.
yes, and they've had success. They've had some counties that have left them and then come back, and they've had very few that have left them and not stayed, or either not come back or have stayed. I mean, they've got a pretty good retention rate. So we're having another trip.
So it might be something good.
Our next WWE meeting, I think, is going to be, I think it's next month. I can't remember if they were going to come there then.
I think that'd be the best thing to for the
Present it to our whole board. It was Mark Smedley and I were there. Is that how you say his name? Smedley.
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 SMEBY. Right?
Yep.
But I think it'd be good to have WCK and Heartland Power there too.
Yeah. Mark wasn't there. He had,
I know, yeah, he had a prior commitment.
yeah.
I'll get your board meeting or something.
Oh, I can't remember her name.
What was it?
What was that?
I'm trying to remember what was he had.
I think he was on vacation, I think.
Oh, was he?
Actually.
So it's worth talking, the whole board talking.
No, yeah, I think it's something we all need to listen to. We can't just have two of the six listen to it. I think we all need to listen to it.
Thanks, AJ.
Anytime.
We could have broke the record today if not for you.
Yeah, no, you opened up that can of worms. We're gonna get the lid back on it.
I missed the meeting.
Well, if you're gonna go out and do it wrong, you might as well do it in the dial, you know?
Yeah, it's,
See if that machine up there will run out of tape.
Well, are you done?